Hey everybody, it's Eduardo Jackson, CEO, founder, creator of the Cinema Draft game, coming to you with your call sheet review and weekend preview. For the most part, I've only looked at maybe one or two call sheets, so we're coming in blind, so let's go take a look. All right, so these, actually, let's refresh this. Am I in the wrong account? Awesome. We are getting off on a great foot. Let's log out, then log back in. There we go. I was using my Denzel Flossington test account. Okay, let's go live. Perfect. There we go. Pretty decent turnout. Appreciate the support. Let's take a look at the feature presentation, which is where the big money is and all people seem to care about in the group chat. If you are not yet a member of the group chat, check us out on GroupMe. Marcus Graham's Secret to His Salmon. We have the link on our Facebook page. Feel free to check it out. Okay, so we'll start off with mine since I am technically returning champion. And so I might have blew this one. So here was my thinking. All right, so I wanted to cover. So if anyone was checking the projections from Box Office Pro, they're projecting The Circle to do about 10 million, Fate of the Furious 19, 20-ish. Did they adjust? You know what? They adjusted these. Latin Lover was not that high. I promise you. It was like 2 million or so. Those assholes. All right, sorry. Anyways, Latin Lover was actually projected about 2 million or so. Even though it was always scheduled to be on 1,100 screens or whatever. It's just, okay, whatever. Anyways, so they went back and redid their numbers, as is their right, I suppose. But anyways, even so, like I said, don't be slave in the last podcast. Don't be slave to the numbers. Think for yourself. But I figured that even still, Latin Lover still kind of had a weird path to success. So the bulk of my creating this call sheet was trying to figure out how I could get to 8 points. So basically, I figured you're gonna want Fate of the Furious headliner. You're going to probably want some exposure to The Circle. If you did back-to-back Fate of the Furious headliners, it might cost you, and the opportunity cost might be too high, especially if it's only going to top out around 20 million, which isn't outside the realm of possibility. Now let's take a look at Fate of the Furious, some similar movies, and by similar, we'll take a look at the previous Fast and the Furious movie, Furious 7, what it did, pretty much weekend to weekend. So its first weekend, 147 million, did gangbusters. Second weekend, it dropped almost 60%, just like Fate of the Furious dropped. And then in its third weekend, it dropped another 50%, just like I'm guessing Fate of the Furious will do this time. So if it drops another 50%, and we go back to Fate, if it drops another 50%, and we're going weekend by weekend, right, then that's going to put it at about 19 million. Can we, hold on, there we go. So if it's at 38 million last weekend, it drops another 50%, then yes, you're looking at almost exactly 19 million. So that's what I'm banking on. Banking on historical trends of this type of franchise to do what it's always done. So if it drops another 50%, then you're only looking at 19 points, and at a headliner that's basically 26.6. So the calculus I made was, okay, so what can get me for about the same price, or for the cost of one slot, or that salary or whatever, generally, what can get me around that as far as 26 points out spending up all that salary, because that salary is going to take out another, and if you do another headliner there, that salary is going to take out almost a quarter of your available budget. And I just think the opportunity cost is too great on just that one movie when you need to fill on just that one actor from that movie when you need to fill another 8 slots after that to just kind of chunk it off on that one movie. So what I figured was, if I can do a combination of The Circle and The Boss Baby, that will probably make up the difference, but yet still give me a lot of room, salary-wise, budget-wise, to fit in what I thought was going to get me the most value on the weekend. And I'll get to that in a second. So basically, Boss Baby, was projected to do about another 9.5 million, 10 million, whatever. That's fine, because 9.5 times 1.4, 40, which is the 40% headliner bonus, is about 13, points right there. Okay, perfect. And then if you're looking at the circle, which I honestly thought I was going to do about 11 million. Actually, I thought I was going to do a little bit more than people expect. I thought I was going to do like 15, 16 million. So using that, so going on the lower end, let's say 14 million with the headliner bonus, looking at another 19.6. So between that and the Boss Baby, I figured I'd make up the ground lost with another Fate of the Furious headliner. It's not looking great for the Circle. I actually went and saw the Circle last night. Not impressed. It was high concept. It's almost like a bit of social commentary, maybe even a little bit of social satire on on how we've willingly given up our privacy to these tech companies, and how there probably is a bridge too far. I think we've all been experiencing it, especially with how we treat these companies as I mean, we just kind of basically the cost that we're paying for these free services is basically more expensive than we think. And it's a great high concept. I get it. I was extremely interested in it. It was my post-lock movie last night, and it just doesn't deliver. It's just not a great movie. Which is sad because it's well cast and stuff. But the script is lame, and I think the cinema scores will reflect that. I'll be very surprised if it gets more than, say, a B- this weekend. It's just not really well done. So no, knowing, well, I wish I'd known that going into it. Now, since I don't, I'm a little bit scared. But using my rationale, that's why I picked headliners from Boss Baby, Fate of the Furious, The Circle. I kind of punted limited release. I don't see a lot of outside of Latin Lover, and that was my bad. I just did not see the wave that Latin Lover is riding. I mean, especially with the early projections from Box Office Pro putting it like 2.2 million. I mean, it's not very buzzy, but I guess it's performing well. I mean, it's like an expanded version of our 3F, of our foreign focused film. Although the irony is that it's got a lot of mainstream and white actors, so it's got inherent crossover appeal. So I don't know. It was just kind of hard to peg. It might end up costing me this weekend, because if it does, with this now revised, I'm telling you, Latin Lover was not at 6.5 million on Wednesday or Thursday, and with this revised estimate at 6.5 in the limited release, which is basically 6.5 times 2, we're looking at 13 points per actor and 18.2 points per headliner. Oh my God, I'm totally screwed if this does meet this projection. Totally screwed. Because my rationale for the rest of the weekend was, what can get me to 8 points? I didn't think after I spent up on all these movies on the top 4 headliners: Circle, Fate of the Furious, Boss Baby, and Born in China. I figured I looked at the rest of the best of the rest, and I figured there wasn't really anything out there that could reliably get me another 8 points for cheap. I looked at, I didn't know what Colossal was going to do, and now we know Colossal is actually going to do 310 screens, so that's not bad. Their finest actually is clocking at 330. But when it came to, so I figured that none of these other films can get me 8 points, easily. Like Slight, as much as interesting as it sounds, and I might go see it sometime next week. I don't think it can get me 8 points. Lost CZ can't get me 8. Case for Christ is on its way out. Going in Style can't get me. None of these films get me 8 points at their release type. So I went all in on Their Finest, because I think Their Finest has the best shot to get me those 8 points. Their Finest expanded to 330 screens. Their Finest has done, actually, let's look at the last weekend. Actually, Their Finest has done, on a per weekend basis, or on a per screen basis, about 3,000 per screen. So after being on only 176 screens last weekend, so I figured if it drops down to 2,500 per screen times 330 screens, you're looking at 8.25 points. 825,000, which would translate into 8.25 points in platform release, with 1 point per 100,000. So if I get that 8.25, then my headliners is at almost 12 points, 11 and a half points. And that's just what I went in on. I figured that if I could just stack this movie, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a 6-pack of this movie, I could get 8 points each out of these, out of the rest of these guys, plus the other 11.25. So let's see. So basically, I was banking that I could get another 55 combined points out of this 6-pack, which I think would be very hard. You'd be very hard pressed to do if you did a Fade the Furious headliner stack. The funny thing is that the one weekend we're able to finally, stack Fade the Furious, we're probably not going to want to, because it's just a bad play. So that was rationale behind my call sheet. It's what I'm banking on. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we can get there. I even left some money on the table. I just couldn't really spend it in places other than their finest that really interested me. So yeah, that was rationale behind that. Okay, so let's take a look at some other interesting call sheets. Jay Devlin, who I was hoping to get on the podcast today, was unable to. He must be playing hurt. He claimed he did not put in a lot of thought into this call sheet. Let's see what he did. He has a all headliner call sheet. I'm gonna have to figure out like a term for that, an all headliner call sheet. But basically, he has like just a full 10 headliner call sheet. He's got a headliner from Fade the Furious. He's got the headliner stack of Boss Baby, Colossal, How to Be a Latin Lover. That's smart. If this really paid, I mean, this is actually a very diversified call sheet, but it's a smart call sheet. It basically plays off of all of the popular conventional wisdom thinking. This looks like a top 5 call sheet to me, possibly a top 3 call sheet depending on how other people played How to Be a Latin Lover. But this is a very safe call sheet because he's got your known properties in the Boss Baby headliner stack and Fade the Furious. He's got the headliner stack from the How to Be a Latin Lover, which now looks like steaming its way towards an 18 or 20 point per headliner open. He's got exposure to Colossal as the requisite platform play. And then headliner stack of Born in China can't really hurt you, especially at that price. It's a pretty decent value, especially if it's going to get the estimated 3.5 million or so, 3.6 million estimate from Box Office Pro. And then Gifted is interesting because they widened it, and I'm not exactly sure that's the best use of money spent. Only because, and he left 5,800 on the table, only because if it's only going to do 3 million ish, and you're only going to get 1 point per million at wide release. So yeah, he probably could have done a little bit better there. But it's not a bad. I think this is serious top 5 potential. At the very least, this is a call sheet I think that could probably cash. Okay, so one call sheet I really want to take a look at is Ring Balls, because he was really. He really kind of opened my eyes to how Latin Lover was going to play, and yeah, this is a very interesting. This could be I love this call sheet. This is probably, this sucks. This is actually going to get him off of my whiteboard, and that's an inside joke for listeners to the group chat. But yeah, this is probably the best call sheet I've seen so far. So he's got a headliner stack of Fade and the Furious. He's got the headliner stack of Born in China. He's got a 4-pack of How to Be a Latin Lover, and yeah, this could be it. This could be the one that takes. Hell, he's even got exposure to Their Finest and Colossal. Only $100 left over. 8 out of 10 headliners. I fucking love this call sheet. Well done, Ring Balls. This is the best call sheet I've seen so far. This could be the one that takes it. Man, I just kind of wish I'd known how well How to Be a Latin Lover was going to perform. I kind of spoke to it on the shot list during the hour-long pod I had this week with Alexia and KJ Kalila Joy. But damn, man, I should have gone with my gut, man. I was trying to play it safe with Their Finest, and that's a great lesson for all of you guys who are picking up on the strategy of this game. Is that to win in in these contests, win in these tournaments, that you have to employ generally what we call a tournament strategy. And by that, I mean, sometimes you have to go for high variance. Variance is your friend. And we talk about this all the time in poker. We talk about this all the time in daily fantasy, that, if you play it safe, you go for, the safe route, you're only going to get safe results. If you go for a high variance play, if you swing big, only by hitting home runs, you only get hitting home runs. What am I trying to say? You can only get home runs by swinging big. There you go. That's it. So that's a big swing. It's not even terribly risky. It's just really smart, but also just volatile enough to make it. That's an excellent call sheet, Ring Balls. I am rooting for you. Let's take a look at Excellent real quick. He did pretty well last week. This guy, yeah, I totally missed the boat. He's got the headliner stack of Fade and the Furious, a 5-pack of How to Be a Latin Lover, the headliner stack to Born in China, and exposure to Colossal. Excellent call sheet. As a matter of fact, actually, the 5-pack to How to Be a Latin Lover might be the best call sheet of the week, edging out Ring Balls, only because if this sucker does 6.5 million, this thing is gonna. I mean, I see those two as the two best call sheets so far. With slight edge going to Excellent. Excellent, you may certainly live up to your name this week. I like your chances. What else might be an interesting call sheet? Michael Vellante. I'm sorry, I'm giving love to the people in the group chat. If you want some extra love on these recaps, join the group chat. It's a lot of good strategy going on in there, and he has the same call sheet as Excellent. It's the 5-pack of How to Be a Latin Lover with Colossal headliner, the headliner stack of Fate and the Furious, plus the headliner stack from Born in China. Those are my two favorite. That construction is my favorite call sheet this week. So, good job, guys. Good on you. I highly expect you guys to win. Man, I might fall outside the top 5 this week. I mean, that sucks. And also, in the event that there is a top 4 call sheet of the week, we since it is $50 bonus this week, we will split it. We won't give out twice. We don't have that kind of money around here, but we'll definitely split it if there is a tie in points for call sheet of the week. Draft Mom, let's see what Mom's thinking real quick. Mom is all over the place. Bless her. But she has 9 out of 10 headliners. So that's smart. Fade the Furious with the headliner stack from How to Be a Latin Lover. She gives some play to Slight, which is interesting. I hope it does perform. Can't say I know what it's going to do. Gifted might just be wasted money only because that's a classic example of a good film that's too wide for its own good. And I think she's biased. Draft Mom saw it last week, loved it, raved about it. Text me about how great it is and how I should go see it. So I will keep that in mind, Draft Mom. Going in style, it's too wide for its own good, Mom. It's just waste of money. I'm sorry. You could use that money on Their Finest or Colossal in a lower release type but that's definitely get you more points. I mean, I just don't. I mean, look even the projections going in style, another 3.6 million. That's just not where the money's at. Sorry, Mom. And then the Circle, I had high hopes for, like you did, but it's not going to perform. And Born in China is a smart pick. It's probably going to be outside the top 10. Sorry, Mom. And then also in the interest of developing our new players. Oh, and let me take a look at Smart Ash. She's one of my favorite new players. Real quick, what does she look like? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this is interesting. So she's got the 5-pack of How to Be a Latin Lover, Boss Baby, Circle, headliner stack of Their Finest, and of course the headliner from Fate of the Furious. This is a very solid call sheet. This might be number 5, number 6 when it's all said and done. I just missed the boat on Latin Lover, and I'm deeply regretting it with each call sheet I explore. I guess the last call sheet we'll take a look at is JJ11, one of our newer players. Just kind of curious to see how she's faring. And yeah, this one's probably not going to fare very well. It's an all headliner call sheet, and so that's good. But Fate of the Furious, the Circle, which is fine. Born in China is fine too. Beauty and the Beast, not bad. But she's going to lose money in Buster's Malhart. We have no idea how many screens it's playing on. Do we have any idea how many screens it's playing on now yet? Do we know yet? Because I could not find new release. Yeah, so it's not looking good for it. I'm thinking probably only New York and LA release. So we're talking like 4 to 25 screens. It's not going to be too great. Going in style, too wide for its own good. Slight, I'm very curious about, but I have no idea. I don't think it'll perform like we wanted to in that release type, only because at 550 screens, I mean, you could either pay down for their finest on 330 screens, which might actually outperform it, or you can, pay up for How to Be a Latin Lover, or actually pay the same, really, at 7,700 for How to Be a Latin Lover, which is definitely going to crush it at the box office this weekend for its release type. Oh, man, deeply regretting some decisions I've made. Actually, I'm sorry, I lied. We'll end on LA Law. It's my boy. We go back to college. And he has the headliner stack for Fate and the Furious, Tom Hanks from The Circle, Born in China headliner as well. All these make sense, but it's going to be the margins where he loses out, where basically he had to punt the rest of his call sheet with Buster's Malhart, a 3-pack from The Promise, actually a 3-pack from Buster's Malhart, and a 3-pack from The Promise. And there's just not going to be enough points there for you to make up the difference for the people who are going to be playing Latin Lover and Fate and Their Finest or Colossal. So it's a valiant effort. I see what you're doing here, but yeah, this is definitely, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, this is the one week where you got a chance to finally stack headliners from Fate the Furious, but it really wasn't worth the effort. And The Circle, I just have a feeling it's going to underperform, sadly. I saw it, and it's just not very strong. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for listening and for playing the game, upping your strategy. Oh, I do want to draw your attention real quick to our YouTube channel. We added that's actually our iTunes channel. To our YouTube channel, that we actually have a tutorial playlist, and I just added a new one. I'm very excited about this one. This one is, and actually let me move it up there so people can get a good idea. So there's how to play, then there's like a basic strategy guide. It's 18 minutes on how to play the best strategies in the game. I go over your stars and scrubs. I go over some good stuff. I go over your basics. I go over stars and scrubs. I go over general concepts of value, a little bit of game theory as far as differentiation. But basically, I just want to get you guys getting and improving your call sheet so I can see new and different faces rotating in and out of the top 10. It's definitely worth your time if you are newer to the game and are kind of struggling with some of the basic strategy. You want to get an idea of what some of the best players in the game are doing and how you can just generally get better from week to week. So check it out if you get a chance. Oh, this is no, stop, no. Yeah, let me just close it out. So yes, check that out if you get a chance. It's on our YouTube channel. You can get there. Actually, go to cinemadraft.co and click the little YouTube icon right here. That'll take you to our YouTube channel. And just make sure you're following us on all of our social media. We try to keep it fun. We have an interesting content mix of tutorials, graphics, general content from the industry. We try to stay current, and also, of course, join our group chat and tell all your friends and all that good stuff. And when you're not grinding our game, trying to get an edge, this weekend, and telling all your friends to sign up to Cinema Draft at cinemadraft.co, cinemadraft.co, you know the drill. Why don't you go see a movie or something?